my friends stand by me only if I'm right. I come out of triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they want me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and deaf to all the frauds, man. Not too many on me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera acting, I'ma show them how I drew it.
Tell them what our process would have been.
Right. Yeah.
And we could mess it all up because it's 30 years later.
Big facts.
She don't want that. She just want me to text her on IG. We done told them the old-fashioned way. They down on the chivalrous knee, like with the chocolate and all that. And he come back and she called me a simp. So, hey, you know, we are as while we talking about, you know, Boys to Men podcast, you know, we are thinking about talking about a little bit. We've had talks about relationship, heartbreak, and things of that nature. But what about just the simple parenting aspect of being a father and teaching your son to have confidence when dealing with the opposite gender, the opposite sex? And that could come when it comes to just conversation, friendship, dating. It's particularly around dating. Like, what did you talk to your boys about it? Did you all have experiences with your sons where you had to pass the bird and bees conversation, which we had to talk about that, right? How did you teach them some swag with the ladies? Or did you?
Hey, I would say when I had those conversations and with Tyreek, I said, you know, how to approach a young lady and stuff like that. He was like, Dad, you all old. I said, one thing about it is manners is never going to be outdated. Being nice and genuine is never going to expire. Mm-hmm. And if you just do that alone and be sincere alone, it'll take you a long ways. I don't need to know what's the fads going on. I don't need to be in these groups and stuff like that. That right there, take care of yourself.
Just having just manners, dealing with the ladies. But what about? But what makes that doesn't help him be confident though?
Well, I think he can, because if he's pretty much, and that's I believe in that as well, Chill, that having K-Mood, you know, of course, being the most recent experience of our children.
I ain't hear that last.
Speak up, bro.
Yeah, I was like,
no, I was saying K-Mood being the last, you know, as far as the youngest, and then most recent experience of my reflecting on it is having manners typically separates you from the rest of the crowd. And so then, if you see that or notice that, that can help boost your confidence and be you could be confident about.
Well, how you handle that feisty chick that's like, this nice corny ass dude opening doors?
He would know that that's you don't even want her then, because that's.
But how did that not shake?
That's not your standard.
But he does want her.
But he do want her. Have you seen her?
Have you seen her? Well, maybe it could shake him, but that's when if he came to me, I would hope he would. That's when I let him know in school, bro, she ain't even worth you giving her any kind of attention.
So both of y'all are saying in teaching sons about interacting with the opposite sex in a potentially romantic nature, the first thing is just be a respectful guy and exhibit great manners. That's your start there.
Typically, that's a good base. Yeah, good baseline.
Yeah. I think it starts day one. And when I say day one, we talking about confidence. I mean, you can be confident within your school system, amongst your peers, amongst your uncles, your aunties, the elders in the community, at the church, right? Mm-hmm. Shaking hands, look them in the eye. You want to teach them to be confident from day one in all of those areas. And I'm a big believer of if I can do it here, let's apply it here, right? If I can do it on the athletic field or whatever, right? You gain confidence through sports. You gain confidence in a lot of different areas. And then you can just apply it to that, right? But I know when you really do see someone, you like someone that's a little bit different.
What do you think about the quote that says, confidence comes as a result of demonstrated performance?
That's a good one. And I'm a big believer in repetition.
So how does that work with dating? Like what we talking about? Because that ain't about the demonstrated performance isn't you telling them to have no manners. It's
Oh,
I guess
that's
what
their
I'm getting
thing.
at. I guess
Yeah.
what I'm getting at. I'm wondering is any advice good? I mean, I guess what I'm wondering is you can say what you want to say, but ultimately, is it just about putting that toe in the water and just go and experience some hurt and pain
Right.
and success and
Yeah.
failure?
Yeah.
Because we can give them advice and tell them, but we probably going to be wrong.
Yeah.
Man, you know what you should say? Go get some chocolates. I mean, I'm just saying, we're going to say something that's outdated or, you
But
know.
manners ain't out. That's
Oh,
what
no,
I'm
I'm
saying.
not questioning
No,
the
no,
manner
I know. I
part.
heard what
Yeah,
you said,
yeah.
but I'm like that's gonna live the test of all time.
What he's saying is to have the confidence to go approach her,
Right.
So he can even exhibit his mannerisms and his kindness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have the confidence to show who you are, it's a moot point.
I think, let me just say, I think for me, and I haven't talked to my sons a lot about that because I think that's one of the things that sort of happens randomly in conversations. One, stuff just comes out. You watching a movie, or some conversation come up. Or it's just not a lot of examples where that came out, and it might have been a little younger where they said something that you just explained to them like, wow, does that guy, how does he get hurt? Like if you say, well, he approached her.
Right.
I mean, you know, let's start. That was
Hey,
something
she was
he wanted.
so fine, everybody's afraid to say
And
something to her.
I guess, so I guess, in terms of who you are as a person, it's important that your character is shown through your manners and behavior. But then there's the psychological part of, I get this thing about that I'm trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
And I got to do some stuff, right? So there's things that got to happen and like these questions that young people have. But I think it was important for me to just say, you know what? The most important for them to know, because you know you love yourself first. You can't love anybody else unless you love yourself first.
Right.
You're not even going to be attractive to anybody else unless you care about yourself, right?
I don't disagree with that last part, but I hear you.
Okay.
I mean, you
That's
said
fine.
attractive
Yeah.
because you could be attracted to somebody and you ain't even intact with
Well,
yourself.
I can say that again. I say you're not going to be attracted to the type of person you want
Or need.
to attract.
Okay. all
If
right.
you don't love yourself. Let me say that. Yeah. And so you know, we have these things that we're talking about, but my important thing was like, look, man, just know who you are. So if you love yourself, understand not everybody's gonna like you. Let's start there.
Right.
Yep.
Not everyone is going to like you. And
Right.
I actually expect that to happen. You should expect that not everybody likes you.
And the more
You-
successful you are,
should
it's gonna
expect
happen.
that not everybody thinks you're cute. You should expect that. And you should expect that there are some people that like you. And there are some people that are going to find you attractive. So first thing first is understand that this whole dynamic out here, you're probably not going to be as successful as you would like to be in terms of getting exactly what you think you want. Because there's other people involved. It's not just about what you want.
I think another thing, like for my son, just being able to teach him some values to, like you saying, back to self-respect. And then like what said in earlier episodes, more things are caught than taught. And the thing is, I'm leading by example. He see his mother and father, how we interact, how we talking to each other, how we have a disagreement. Are we yelling? Are we disrespecting? Are we having a conversation with one another? And so he's seeing how a healthy relationship is being displayed in front of him.
But you know what he didn't see?
He didn't see when we met
He
each
didn't
other.
see how you booked his mama.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But that's what we talking about.
Right. He didn't see that, right?
Yeah.
He
You heard
didn't.
the story,
He didn't. Huh?
You heard the story.
Here we go. Let's get it. Let's get it.
She was in the neighborhood knocking on doors looking for a good man.
And you just happen to be home.
What do you look? Oh yeah.
Need to go no further.
Nah.
The journey ends right here.
Hey, that's the story I always told. But I met my wife through a college buddy who went to high school with her, and so that's how we met. And so it was a warm introduction versus you somewhere
Cold.
out of
Cold.
yeah,
I got you.
cold.
Okay.
But but that's also how I'm comfortable in being in those environments versus, like my man JG, he'll talk to 10 people. And you know what I'm saying? And he no, but these are things you will talk to 10 people and
strike out 7 times.
He understands it is a number game, right? And he
the law of numbers.
But this is men talk right
We
now.
talk about 93.
But no, I'm just saying you might talk to several people and you might try to pursue them or not, but you can feel if they meant for you or not,
But that's what I was gonna say. I don't
Yeah.
think like when we talk about like what we model in your marriage with our wives, I think that really is a separate conversation from the acquisition process. Because that's not what we're modeling is how to function once you're in a relationship. That's what we model every day, right?
Right.
And we
Yeah.
model respect, they can see, but I'm just sitting here wondering, really, it almost is one of those things in life where you just got to go do it. Because nothing that he saw, if 20 women walked in the room right now, nothing he saw with you, I don't know, it could be. I'm wondering if gonna make him get up and go over there
How many?
and engage one of them. 20?
Oh, okay.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's gonna make him? Now, what
Right.
did he see? And the great love between you and wife that's gonna make him say, you know what? I'm gonna get up and go over there and talk to her out the blue and just see what's up.
I think a lot of times if you have if you have a internal motive, like say for instance you a business person or you try, it's okay in this case he's a businessman, right? And if he wanted to strike up a conversation with a young lady about filming or production or something like that, it's easy to come in and have a conversation, and then you from that conversation alone you could tell where this person might be at in their walk of life.
So is that something I'm saying? So is that an example of something you would say like that would be some guidance I would give my son, for example, if he asked?
That would be a break of ice.
Okay.
I think that you can exhibit confidence in other areas, and he can see that. But you can't show him confidence dealing with ladies, right? Because you already got a lady, you already got his mother, right? But he can see, like you said, you can see you interact with the security person in this building. He can see you interact when you're trying to win some more business in the sales or whatever it may be, right? And you can show that confidence, and again, in this area, and try to apply it in this other particular area.
And then you just show them different examples.
And rejection is and failure. That's part of the process. Business, anything is gonna fail. Get up and dust yourself off. And
That
keep
might
moving.
be the biggest business where you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Yeah.
life.
the thing for me is it shouldn't even be a separate piece, because I've tried to suggest that you start your relationship on a friendship basis anyway with a female. So you should be at least
Watch
confident,
them friends. You the guys that say we just friends.
confident enough,
Get in the friend zone.
enough to just approach her on a platonic level. And so, and
Then
then
you haven't risked it all.
right, and then if it happens to, evolve to something
I hear you
romantic or
coming
whatever,
across.
that's great.
I hear you as being fake right now, but you attracted to that chick, so you ain't trying to be a platonic friend with her.
You said you hear me being
you
fake
attracted
right
to
now.
her. Yeah, you just ain't running up being friends with
lady.
any Susie Q out there. You feeling her, and so all right, so I'm feeling her. So let me develop a friendship with her.
Well,
in
I guess-
reality, where you are attracted to her physically.
I guess, you could separate it in the sense that how does he gain the confidence to say, oh, well, I want to take this to a different level of
And then she
perhaps
said, I thought we were
romance
friends.
and so forth.
No, just
Well, no, it's funny. It's funny that we're talking about that because, okay, early on, that wasn't even a thing that I felt was necessary to bring up to K-Moore. Look, I want you to focus on you, your self-development, you doing your best in school, doing what you need to do in school. So, of course, by the time middle school, which I guess is for all of us at that time, that you kind of, and he had some little, there was whatever with one of his friends, and his friend like an old shorty, and then he wanting to talk to her, and he felt he betrayed his boy because he did da-da-da-da. So anyway, that was his first thing. But after that, Oh, in high school, he he was in band, and he met a young lady in band that he was attracted to or whatever, and he was disappointed. I think because she may have already had a boyfriend or whatever, and she had him in the friend zone, as he had said for the longest. And then I think there was an opportunity when she might have broke up with old boy, and then he was like, "But she still want to keep me in the friend zone." So,
All right, so what do you tell him about that? If he like her, what's wrong with telling him I do like you? You don't have to be overt.
Well, again,
sexual,
I was still on the thing that, look, man, you still need to focus. You know what I'm saying? Still focus on you. And it's funny that Steph was more so the coach on that with regards to trying to tell him how to what he needed to do to approach old girl. Because from a woman's perspective, and of course her
Because
thing.
they're much wiser than the teenage male.
What the women?
Yeah.
The average female.
Right.
Female.
However, for her, of course, it's going to be the whole grooming piece, making sure you dress a certain way.
Yeah.
You look in a
Make
certain
sure you
way.
don't stink.
You know what I mean? So that was early on, of course,
Yeah.
from both of us, but definitely she stayed on it and harped on it and like, you're not going to represent this, whatever, looking all any old kind of way.
Because
And
when you
so-
start really liking the chicks, you're going to make sure you
That
tight.
was definitely, well,
Yeah.
Why can't you with me doing like our son? I don't know. I'm wondering because why keep quiet, right? But I'm wondering.
oh, that's because he has plenty to
Are
say.
y'all with me on? I'm just wondering. Like we really talking about it. Like you playing people. I just don't think there's no preparation. I just like let me give you an example. So you in school and you in the 6th grade, or middle school. I'm in the 4th grade. I learned how to interact with females based on my 4th grade classmates.
Say what? How is this?
I'm asking for pencils. I ain't asking for a hug. I'm asking you understand what I'm saying? The little
You need a crayon.
4th grade
I thought
tokens
you
of
was pushing her.
Say it again?
Pushing her to the ground.
brother, don't
playing
bring up
with
my
it.
past. That was one situation. And I have since apologized.
I
for
like
that.
you.
I'm
That's
tired
why,
of people
that's why I
bringing up-
pushed you on
I'm
the
tired
ground.
of people bringing up old stuff.
I like you.
But I'm learning how to navigate getting things from people as a child too, right? Whether it's male or female. I want this from you. I want that from you. It's an exchange. They smile at you. You smile back. You walk into the classroom and she the one person that put her head up and smile when you come in. But don't nobody else do that. And you start to read cues. You know what I'm saying? So these risks I'm talking about, you actually start taking them in the innocent ways of your child life before you get to the age before it turns to romance affection. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Someone, it's almost, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said we can tell them stuff, but we're almost just like, hey man, just so you know, keep this in mind. But it's really their game, man.
Right.
For me,
They sense it and they'll act accordingly.
Yeah.
when
For
it
me-
comes up to it.
when it came to this right here, the first thing I reflected on, because we got to figure out how we're going to teach these things to our young people.
yeah.
The first thing I reflected on is who was I and what was my
Oh, God.
confidence like? You
Lord
know,
have mercy.
and and when I think about, I remember being in the 9th grade, right?
Okay.
And it's Valentine's Day, right? And man, it's this young lady at Alma that I was just crazy about. Now I ain't never say nothing to her,
And
but
you
I
ain't
was
gonna name her
crazy
name
about
today?
it. Huh? No, I can't
Oh,
bring up her
okay,
name.
okay.
I
Why
don't wanna,
not, brother? Why
I'm
not?
not gonna mention her name, bro.
It's irrelevant,
Because-
right?
Yeah, that's irrelevant.
She
Bro,
watched
she-
the podcast,
Bro,
too.
she was my
Oh.
crush. She was my crush in elementary school. So I
Okay.
don't know why-
Don't put her out there. That's funny.
Yeah.
I think she watched the podcast.
Hey,
That's
but
okay.
look, but check this
KC.
out.
The class of
I
89?
think about being in 9th grade and it's Valentine's Day, and I got me a little white teddy bear, I got me a rose. Man, I can't wait to give it to her so I can be like, look, you
This
know,
shocking to me.
I like you. And man, I had it in my locker on Valentine's Day. I saw her walking down the hall. I said, no, I ain't giving her nothing. I was terrified,
So
bro.
many people.
I was terrified, bro. I
That-
was
that's
like,
still in the locker room.
yeah, hey, I never took it out the locker. It stayed in the locker. I eventually I had it for about a month in my locker and took it and threw it in the trash.
Nah, hey, you gave it
'Cause I
to
just-
somebody. Who you gave
I
it to
didn't
for real?
have, I ain't give it to nobody. I just think about how
Hey,
that
yo, man.
feeling, that
Hey, yo,
feeling.
man, as black man, we need to embrace. Get a brother a hug, man.
Thank you.
Man, that was hard for him, man.
Bro, so I think about that. When I think about that, I ain't want my boys to feel that way. So I thought about how am I gonna teach this? You know? And when you think about confidence,
Time out,
I
hold
gotta
on. You didn't want them to feel bad that you didn't do it, or had that feeling.
I didn't
that
want
where
them
you
to
didn't do it at
feel
all?
what I felt.
That they
Fear.
couldn't give a
okay.
bell.
I didn't want them
Gotcha,
to
gotcha.
feel
Bear
the
the road.
fear that I felt.
Gotcha.
You know, and I read a book. I don't know where it came from. This is where I got it from. It's a book by Carl Phillips, and it's called Moving Past Potential. And in this book, he talks about how you get to confidence. So we think about a quadrant, you know, 4 squares. Along the bottom is what you think about other people, all right? From low to high. I think low of people, I think highly of people. And then along the top, it's about what you think of yourself. Low of yourself, thinking highly of yourself. So if I think low of myself and I think low of other people, then I have a pessimistic attitude about the world and about people. All right? If I think highly of myself, but I think less of others, I'm extremely arrogant.
Condescending.
Yeah, I'm arrogant. All right? Now, if I think highly of other people, but low of myself, now I'm insecure.
Okay.
You get to confidence when you think highly of other people and you think highly of yourself. That's where you meet the quadrant of confidence. And now you have a level of confidence no matter what it is, whether it's the practice field, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's with a young lady or wherever, okay? So you must think highly of others and think highly of yourself. So when you have a young man who may be insecure, it's because he think everybody is better than him. That guy faster than me. That guy taller than me. That guy got better hair than me. You know, you think all these things of other people and you think about what you don't have. So when I want my young men to have confidence, it's all about me building them up. All right. Because I know they're thinking highly of others. We don't have arrogant little jokers. All right. I want them to build them up. And so I build them up. But here's what I then did. I tried to explain to them that if you see a young lady, just know that 80% of the dudes that's looking at her, they're scared to death. They ain't gonna never say nothing. They like me. They the dude with the teddy bear and the rose that don't never say nothing. 80% of your competition gone because they scared to death. They ain't gonna say a word. You're only really competing with maybe another 20%, 10 to 20% of the people out there, you know? And so if you dealing with maybe another 10 or 20%, how do I feel good about myself
If you had that
enough
math back
to
then
go?
in the 9th grade, you might have gave that bell.
I
away.
sure would have. I sure would
I think
have. Yeah, and so that's how you build them up,
Yeah.
and knowing where to build them up. And likewise, if he think he missed all that and always in the mirror and all that stuff, like, bro, come on, man. You know, you need to, you know.
Fall back from that a little bit.
I hear what you're saying, but like in my situation, I was one of those guys. I couldn't just randomly go up and approach a woman.
You
right?
said you could,
I could not. That's just not how I operated, right?
but hold
But
on.
hold on a second. Let me make my point.
I got a question.
All right, yeah, please ask me. But at the same time, what I'm saying, I'm confident, right, on a level like if I'm scalping tickets, I can overcome objections and no, I'm not, I don't want any tickets, and I'm negotiating, and I can do that all day long and won't feel no rejection. But then that direct rejection that I might get because I'm directly talking to this female, I I couldn't handle it.
What did Chubb say a minute ago? Confidence comes through what?
Demonstrated performance.
Demonstrated performance. We talking about two different things. If you negotiating a contract or scalping tickets or whatever, you've had demonstrated performance in that area, so you're proficient and you feel confident in that area because you've demonstrated performance. Well, when it comes to ladies, once you have demonstrated the performance,
Right.
you like, oh, now I got some confidence. I can walk
But
up
see,
and approach
That's
someone.
how I'm making a connection to the great quadrant work you broke down for us. My comment about confidence and demonstrated performance, John connected it to repetition because he knew where I was going.
Right.
Because the only way you can get demonstrated performance when you haven't performed is through the practice repetition.
Yes.
So your repetitions in practice in sports language becomes the demonstrated performance you do every day to have confidence in the game.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then to achieve what you think. I think highly of myself and I respect my opponent, so I'm ready to ball.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And either way, I might lose if I underestimate them,
Absolutely.
all those things, right? But then, so in this game of with women, though, that's why I was saying the demonstrated practice is the everyday life interaction with the gender
Correct.
Yeah.
that you get, because we can't give our kids practice with it.
Nah,
Mm-hmm.
you can't.
Because it's about your magic with the opposite gender. It's about your essence as a man and what that energy does for somebody of the opposite sex and who you are. So then you got to figure out that I got this energy about me that this person likes. You got to figure out how to reel that in. And so that's when we can come in as a dad and be like, hey, send a card, they call it, this in a flyer. We could tell them what our process would have been.
Right.
Yeah.
And we could mess it all up because it's 30 years later.
Big facts.
She don't want that. She just want me to text her on IG. We done told them the old-fashioned way.
Nah.
They down on the chivalrous knee, like with the chocolate and all that.
We got
and he come back and she called me a simp. So
So, are you?
that's
What
my
role does
point is-
emotional intelligence play in what you talking
So my
about?
my point is my role is to teach you these dynamics of life.
Yeah.
It's your job to play it out.
Yeah.
But I need to know you got to understand that this is a thing.
And you gotta be willing to play.
It's a construct.
You gotta get in it.
Peace and blessings to all of our businesses who are interested in advertising. We have great affordable rates. And if you'd like to advertise on our B2M Crew podcast, please reach out to us at b2mcrew5@gmail.com.
Get in it.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
giving my son, I was like, listen, man, let me tell you how to do this.
See, now we getting into it. See,
Yeah,
none of
yeah,
that.
yeah. I was
Now
like,
we gonna
listen,
get into
Let
it.
me tell you how to do this. But I'm giving him 1988, 89 methods.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know it works. You just gotta update the
You-
tactic. All right.
Put it in-
Like I was just like, listen, man, because I was so fearful of approaching young ladies when I was younger. I was so fearful of it. I had to come up with something that neutralized that fear. So I just came up with a list of 5 questions that I would ask any woman that I saw and I wanted to approach.
Hold on, I gotta stop you. When did this start?
I was about to say, when did this start, bro?
This started in 89, 90.
Bro,
All right,
I
go
was
ahead.
19, 18,
Bro.
19.
you were so fixated on getting these women that you actually strategized on a list.
Yes. Yes. But first of all,
Tracy, the list worked on you.
I was fixated on it when we came up with doing New Edition.
I was about to say,
I was like,
because
yeah,
you had a certain confidence before 89,
But bro, to
90.
take it to the point where like, yo, I need written strategies.
I need written
Yeah,
strategy.
well, let's go back. Yeah,
Okay,
get that
I'll
list.
tell you.
Hold on, get them questions out the way real quick.
Okay.
Look at
but-
Jay.
so here's how it
5
came about.
questions.
Yeah,
Here's how it came about. I can remember distinctly when it came about. Now,
Clean it up, Wah.
John, I'm about to tell your business
Again,
again.
again.
I'm about to tell your business.
Keep John business
Now,
clean.
now, Chill mentioned earlier, John was a numbers guy.
That's right.
All right. So you remember that night we was in Atlanta. I think we was in
Classic.
112. We was in 112 one night.
This was the after party like a real after party. It was Bobby Brown, TLC.
Jodeci.
It was a real concert, and these folks was at
SWV, all these people in the party.
Yeah.
And we partying with all these people, right? And me and James sitting in the booth together, and we watching John all night.
Not the ladies, but John.
So we watching John, but we're watching John strike out over and over and over. And we're just getting such a kick out of us. We dying laughing. We like, yo,
look at this dude.
he taking it to the chin.
He don't care.
And he going for it, yo.
That was a
And
classic.
I'm like, yo, that dude got so much confidence, he don't care. I was like, what would it take for me to approach that many women and get rejected that many times and keep going?
Hey, listen, I learned at an early age, she ain't no baseball guy, right? But everybody know Steve Carter. And so I understood what happened when you bat 300.
You go to Hall of Fame in baseball.
Okay, thank you. I might strike out 7 times.
All you need is 3 hits out of 10.
Exactly. And I'm winning.
Yeah,
and all
you
I
was
need to
winning.
do is call Corey, and Corey will say, pull your elbow up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, work on my stance. And then next week, so they clown me mercilessly. They clown me so hard. And I said, look, y'all laughing. But next week, y'all gonna be like, how the hell did he do that?
Right.
How he do that?
Right.
I forgot all about the short memory. You gotta have a short memory. And like when Chill was talking about, he wasn't offended because he was being rejected business-wise, right? That then you never took that personal. But if a lady rejects you, now you thinking, I ain't good enough, I ain't tall enough, I ain't this, that, the other. But you gotta throw that out of the book. You just maybe wasn't her cup of tea.
Right.
You know? And this is the thing, when I was talking about you, but that's a true story, and that was super funny. I was on one too. That was 30 years ago. But bro, you talk about confidence. You the dude at the middle school dance, high school dance, adult dance, were you the first one on the dance floor?
That's easy.
Hey, why was that easy?
Demonstrated performance.
Exactly.
Demonstrated performance. They were
That's
talking
it.
about.
You super confident.
Right.
And so you know that works, right? That brings them to you.
Yeah.
I got an aha moment.
Joaquin ain't had your moves, so he had to come up with
You
the
saw
side
it.
question.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
had the
that's
dance
right.
moves, so
They still waiting on the
was
questions.
All right.
Go ahead. What you gonna say?
The aha moment is the critical key to what we're talking about is back to that vein of everyday life is if you want your child to have confidence and relationships later on, you better make sure you get them socialized around the opposite gender on a regular basis.
I would.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because that's the playground for it.
Yeah.
It's just about school. It's about marbles. It's about the sandbox. But I'm learning how to deal and navigate and interact. I'm learning who likes me.
Incrementally.
And learning
Yeah.
confidence and approaching people because, you know what? I wanted a piece of her candy and I was scared to ask her.
But that's all
Because
easy,
she's so
though.
pretty.
But
I'm
that's-
just saying, but that's the inner. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm listening to you. I had all those skills and tools. That was easy.
Well, what I was gonna say when you said when you say though, when we are afraid to approach women, we got to go deeper. It just depends on how deep we want to go, because there's a reason why, and everybody has their reason why.
Yeah, one
but
reject you and
everybody-
tear you down.
That could be. That
Right,
could
that's
be.
what I'm saying.
That
Like,
could be what it is.
Right.
No,
yeah.
that could be what it is, or it could be for some people that they was told in their household, and I know it wasn't you because I know
Right.
how much love was in your house.
Right.
That take your little black ass, you ain't nothing, no way, nowhere.
Right.
And so black women like Antoine Fisher, he's never felt confident with a black woman. You tell, so there's a lot of dynamics, you know,
Right.
sometimes with that stuff, man. But I do think that's the playground is, and I say that because y'all say, well, everybody socialize. No, they don't. Because there's people that keep their children away from other people.
Right.
That don't want them playing around normal children.
Yeah.
That happens.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, they not normal. To not want them to play around.
But beyond that, though, once they, did you have something?
No, I was just going to say what my questions were.
Okay, yeah.
You
What's
man.
still
Back to
remember.
that.
Hold on, Tracy want to know why you still remember that.
Yeah.
Because you don't
Because
need
it's-
that no more.
Because it worked on her. It
Oh,
was
oh,
monumental.
How you know
Hey,
it worked on her?
Hey, I was
Because we got
worried.
2
I
children.
almost wanted to take it back when I
You-
said, when did you come up with this list?
Two weekends ago.
About 6-7 years ago.
Hey, Watson, I have to remain marketable. You know what I mean? Tracy might put you up next week.
But no, so here was the thing. The fear of rejection and please get on my face and all that stuff, I couldn't handle that, you know? And so I just was like, okay, let me come up with these 5 questions. It was real simple. When I would approach a young lady, I would always reach my hand out to shake her hand and say, how you doing? My name is Joaquin. That's the initial introduction. What's your name? All right, question 1. Did you come here with anyone? You know, because I don't want boyfriend to be right there and all of a sudden, you know, he like, hey man, what you doing talking to my lady? You
So
know?
this club introduction.
Club introduction, grocery store introduction, whatever it is.
Yeah, she
And
ain't
then
fine
next
enough. You're
question-
gonna be like, oh, I want to ask these questions.
Yeah, next one. Where you from? Where you from? Where you from? What schools you go to? 5th question is, do you have a boyfriend? Now, that 5th question is letting her know I'm interested in her. All right? Now, after I ask these 5 questions, pause, silence. All right? Nothing. All right? Now, here's the cue. If she asks me a question, she's interested. If she doesn't say anything after that, I'm gonna say, hey, it was real nice to meet you. Hope I see you around, and keep it moving. That's the best way that I learned to deal and cope with rejection. Now, don't that make sense?
So wait a minute. Hold up.
That's how.
what's your name?
That was the strategy.
Hold up. What's your name?
So, talking about me.
Hold up. What's your name?
Who you with?
Who you with?
Yeah.
But
Where you
number
from?
2 is not the same as number 5. Do you
No,
have a boyfriend?
because you could be with your girlfriends.
Oh, who are you with? Okay, gotcha.
I'm here with my girlfriend.
Oh, so that opens up to say, oh, I'm here with my girls, or I'm here with my man.
Yeah.
So then that would eliminate the need for number 5 if she. Okay,
Correct.
but that's a good one. Okay.
Correct.
What's your name? Who you here with?
Where you from?
Where you from?
What school you go to?
What
That
school
was
you go to?
important to
What school
me
you
at
go
the
to?
time.
Oh,
At the
okay.
time.
What school you go to?
Yeah. And do you have a boyfriend?
Do you have a boyfriend?
But
Jella,
but
hold on,
that's
hold on, before
good,
you
but
say that.
But it shows that everybody got their own flow because you can
Right.
interpret it differently.
Yeah.
Like you can interpret, like I would interpret it like, you know, she from the South. I ain't gonna shake my hand. I might try to hug her or just bow.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends, like, you know what I'm saying? Or then you say, or you could interpret it as like, are you here with someone? It's like, I already been over there in the room. I know you here by yourself. It's like, you out here enjoying yourself today, but you know, you already know you by yourself. So it just, now I know your system works.
No, now here's the funny part about it. I tell Darius and Kari this, right? And Darius was like, come home late. Dad, that mess don't work. I'm like, what you mean it don't work? That's tried and proven. What you talking about that don't work? He's like, man, that mess don't work. I said, listen, it's not designed to get you a woman to sleep with. It's designed to get you a woman for a long-term relationship. Because if she just brush you off and, get out my face with that. He's so corny. He a simp, all that. That's not who you want anyway.
That's a fact.
The system is designed to weed them out. Those women that think you corny, that think you a simp, those women that think that when you interact with them like that, that's not who you want anyway. So she doing you a favor early.
What's
I
a
gotta
simp?
ask you a question.
What's
though.
a simp?
Just
That's a
get
simp.
played.
Somebody
Oh,
simple.
okay.
Simpleton.
Sucker.
Hey, Joaquin, I gotta ask you this, man, because if you acknowledge what I'm about to say, man, I think we need to nominate you for some type of award. Everything you said, I love it.
All right.
You're telling me at 19, you thought about all of these components in the way that you just explained it to us.
Ask John.
Yeah. That's,
You
put
missed your
put in the
calling,
work.
You missed your calling. You should have been writing books for life. Like you reading all the books and ain't
Yeah.
writing none. You missed your calling. No,
Yeah.
because that's
I thought it was 3 questions.
especially the part about weeding out, because you had the issue is you were focused on weeding out at that age.
And that is exactly why I ended up getting married at such a young age.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, and my wife knows us, you know, I tell her all the time, you know, when I was prepared to move to Atlanta with y'all, and I was coming down there with y'all, and we was about to engage in all kinds of debauchery. All right. But when I met my wife, I was like, you know what? Nope. That's all that little system I had. This work. This is she the one. It didn't take me.
You only had to use
It didn't
once.
take
That's
me
why you
5
told,
years.
That's why you told Derek to boy that thing. Well, I ain't had to use it once. It's still polished.
One head of course.
Hey, it works. And so it's designed to get you a wife. It's not designed to get you somebody to sleep with. You know,
That's what you had to tell him when he said that don't work.
Yeah, that's what I had. Then I had to tell him that part.
Right,
you know, when he was kind of. It's just like, hey, I've coached for over 20 years.
How
All
long?
right,
How
I'm
long?
20
many
years, over
decades?
2 decades. All right, and there's nothing funnier to me than when a player come to me and say, "Coach, that play don't work." I said, "It worked just fine when Reggie was running it." So it ain't the play; it's you.
Right.
You the problem.
I think.
You need to get better.
Hey, look.
All right, and we're gonna help you get better. All right, but trust me, son, the play works.
But that
I
just
got major
destroyed his
game right here.
confidence.
All
I
right.
got major game for this right here, and I heard it. This is the year of truth, and I heard it from a pimp.
The year of truth.
Uh-oh.
Now I don't know any pimps personally,
So,
but I do watch TikTok and Reels.
Oh, okay.
He said, these dudes out here messing up because they liking women that don't like them. He said, like the women that like you. It's easy. Right?
Yeah.
My point about that is, that's half the game.
Yeah.
Half the game is people are destroying their own confidence and ruining or thinking less of themselves because they're pursuing people they want that just don't want them. And you spend time trying to figure out how to get them and woo them, and they just don't want you. And they might let you woo them and entertain you for dinners and dates and friends, but ultimately they never wanted you. And so my point is, we all have a energy, a look, a feel to another human being that they want. And if you start there with, I need to explore the type of people that are attracted to me
Yeah.
and find the best out of that, then you don't need no confidence.
And I
I
definitely
mean, I'm
hear-
just saying.
I
It's
hear
just,
you. But think about the people who's watching the show,
uh-huh.
right? And they've been married 30, 40 years.
Uh-huh.
And the person that they originally approached when they were dating or when they was talking, they didn't even get along and like each other anyway.
So what you saying?
So
Sometimes you got to break them down. Is that what you saying?
What?
just because they might not like you right then and there, don't mean that's the final. Now I ain't saying,
And it don't, and because they're together, don't mean they like each other either.
but
I'm just saying, and that's been more so the case than lying with the numbers.
That is true, but I'm talking about like me personally hearing these stories and people telling these stories to me.
Uh-huh.
You know, so I know it's more out there than that.
Oh yeah,
But,
I mean,
but I understand exactly what your point. It makes things a lot easier.
My point is, so I guess my point is that people spend a lot of time having an idea of who they want and who they like, and many times they are people that have not given them the time of day. And they end up abusing themselves in pursuit of that person. And then some of these people are actually skillful, cunning, charming, low character enough to take advantage of that person's earnestness to be with them, right?
Right.
And so my point is, if you're thinking about just in general about who the type of mate you should look for, in addition to what you may be physically attracted to, you might want to consider the pool of people that have a natural affinity or attraction to you first. Because that has
how do
nothing
you
to do to
discern
me.
that?
Hold on, that has nothing to do with me with two people that barely know each other that get to marry and they can grow to love each other. That's a whole separate
That's different.
conversation to me.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about generally. Listen, guys have experienced this? You ever been anywhere? I don't care, married or not, and I'm not talking about romance, where you just found that somebody just liked you.
Yeah.
female, male, female at work, at a presentation, at a conference.
How could they not?
Every day. You in mayor, unofficial mayor of Charlottesville. Tracy has to be afraid. No, I'm just but my point is, there are people
Right.
that are more attracted to you for whatever reason you resonate with them. And so my saying is that it's almost like that's where the lick is for you. But you can go get a lick somewhere else
Yeah.
and force it.
Yeah, right.
That's all I'm saying. Has the universe sent them to you?
And you know what happened?
If they naturally attracted to you, that's
Right.
You know what happened when they force it to? Even
What?
if it looked like it's working and it don't work, they be like, he couldn't handle her. He couldn't handle her.
yeah.
And they be like, why I gotta handle somebody anyway? You know what I mean?
Right,
Because
that's
you
true.
wasn't supposed to be together. You know,
Yeah.
because you forced it.
I
instead of
think
letting it flow.
one of the things we also need to talk about is, you know, that I tried to share with my boys is that kind of like right along with what you're saying, you have to become the man that the woman you desire would want.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure if I
Qualify
want
yourself.
this type of woman, what type of man is that woman going to want? And am I that man?
Mm-hmm.
Am I that guy? Am I that young fella? You know, when my son's 16, 17, 18, he getting ready to go off to college. Well, you know, if she just want a dude that, I don't want him to go to college. I want him to stay here with me and we can get us an apartment and all that stuff. All right, well, that ain't gonna work. Or if you just want to get an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And she like, no, I'm going off to college and you better come with me. Or else it ain't gonna be no us. Like my man E.T. talk about when he's like, I had no plans of going to college. I went because Dee Dee was going. And she said, if you want to be with me, you better come too.
Damn.
That's why he went to college.
Wow.
So like you gotta make sure you the type of man that the woman you desire would want. And become that person.
I like
You know,
what
to
you're
the best of
saying
your ability.
because it explains what I was trying to say better. Because I'm not saying, yo, man, just find out who might like you and rock with it. Because that's the other part of it is you haven't qualified yourself so the law of attraction to kick in.
Right.
That's what I was trying to get at. If you qualified yourself and you ready, the law of attraction is going to attract to you the type of people to elevate you. And that's a better way for me to say rather than forcing it
Yeah.
and looking for those type of people. And really, I started with the pimp comment. That's really what he's saying.
Yeah. Right. That's
Who
true.
likes you is based on what the law of attraction attracted to you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
Whether it's a good woman or a bad woman, or man, vice versa, you know.
just think you could be some super intelligent guy, all kinds of degrees or whatever, and a woman be like, oh, he think he know everything. He think
Right.
he too damn smart. I don't want.
Right.
She ain't even based on who you are.
And
That
another-
ain't. She ain't
Another
even.
woman could be like, oh my God, I love it every time he opens his mouth.
Exactly. I want to hear everything
I mean,
he
you
has to say.
yeah.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
We
right.
need some ladies.
So
here to
you gotta
balance
tell
this
your
out.
We need
sons,
some women
no,
here.
but you gotta
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
your sons, like you gotta be to read that though.
And
Right?
understand it.
Like
Exactly.
she just told you, she told you to be quiet. You talk too much, and she pretty and she like you and gonna stay with you, but she really don't like your mind.
Yeah.
Or the way you display
She might
your
like,
mind.
she just might like what you do for her. I mean, so you got, I mean, it's a serious good game out here.
Man, you know, honestly, man, you know, and as we sit up here and talk, we have 12 sons. I think between the 12 of them, they ain't even
None
past.
of them married.
None of them married, and we got 2 girlfriends, 3 maybe, 2
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
possible. You know what I mean?
Sound-
They struggling
Sound like
out here.
sound like a spade
hold on.
hand.
Let me show you what my son just sent me.
Uh-oh.
He showed me the picture.
Let me-
He's
what he
not
got a ring?
struggling. He's not struggling.
Wait a minute,
We're
I'm
trying to
talking
reel
about
him in.
Oh.
Struggling to find a wife. Let me see what he got.
Oh.
Well, he got a choice about 4, 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just sent me
He
that.
looked like he in the friend zone right there, John. Though.
Hey,
That was
they
friend-
asked him to take the picture.
Oh, okay.
No, those was randos. Yeah, those was just randos at the restaurant.
Nah, but
That's funny.
nah, you right because nobody's married yet, right?
Yeah.
But what does that
Hey,
say?
my
What does that
oldest-
say
my
though?
old- My oldest shacking up now. He just
shouldn't
shacked.
be.
He a week or two in the shacking.
He a week or two in the shacking.
And how
What
do
you
you
think
feel
about
about
the
that?
shacking?
He already know how I feel about it.
How
No,
you
but
feel?
we don't know.
The audience don't know.
Oh, how I feel about it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, first of all, this is his second time. So he's 30 years old now, so he a grown man do what he want to do. He know I'm always here to seek his, if he wants to seek my counsel or not. But I don't agree with it. However, he can do, he's grown. He make his own decisions. He pay his own bills. And I know he's a good man. I know he's gonna do the right thing.
Why you don't agree with it?
Why?
Because if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her shacking up with a guy. However, I do understand that he does want to be married. He does want a wife, and I know he's not doing this frivolously, And
So what you think it say about the woman he's shacking with?
what I think it says about her?
Yeah, that she's willing to shack
Oh.
with him.
Don't make him answer that on camera.
Oh my bad.
Come
my
on,
bad.
man.
Hey, why that?
Good
I
or
said
bad,
if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her shacking. I
But
say
is
that.
she grown?
Oh yeah, she's an adult woman, and I mean,
I get it.
she's responsible.
I'm sure she's a fine young lady.
Yeah.
I'm not.
We haven't met her
It,
yet.
has,
not-
it has nothing to do with her or how I feel about shacking.
I'm not
She could
disagreeing
be
with
super
you.
duper phenomenal,
Yeah.
but I just don't. I'm
What
old
about,
school.
like that is something to talk about though, in terms of the times and how the times are changing. Cause we all sound like a bunch of old, outdated dudes.
Yes.
But you know what? When I say when
Like-
people say that,
But
What?
they
what's
ain't
wrong?
changing for the better.
Right. And what's
Oh,
wrong
right,
with
right,
that?
right.
That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
said.
Just 'cause it
That's what I
changed,
said about
don't
they
mean
have not
change, yeah.
changed for the better.
Say it one more time.
They ain't changing for the better.
Change for change's sake don't mean it's always a good thing. Hey,
Man,
I ain't saying we ain't got more technology.
yeah,
Don't confuse technology
with ethics, and morals.
accoutrements.
yeah, I mean,
With
just because
better.
Not your
just because it's old and dated, that don't mean nothing.
Man, y'all up here talking about shacking. Y'all was talking about abstinence before. Man, what are you? This 2024.
We listen. 85% of young people born to a single parent household end up in poverty. So this ain't about no old school. This about, based on them numbers, we need to be in situations where two married people have children. And shacking up gives an escape for that not to happen in a lot of cases.
Okay.
I agree.
That's
We
just
on
my
the same
take on it.
page.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I was
For
just
the
saying what my
audience.
take is on it.
Yeah.
It's
I was
not.
speaking for the
my
audience.
point is, a lot of stuff we say is that people, and I know you was floating an argument out there that people make. They say it's outdated. I'm saying, okay, you say it's outdated. I'm saying I got some numbers for you to respond to. You know what I'm saying? So when they
current
say
data.
outdated, okay, but this is what the data say. You know what I'm saying?
That is what the
Right.
data
I'm
says.
gonna
Yeah.
go back to something you had touched base on earlier. While you were saying something, piggybacking off, of course, saying if someone feeling you, that's who you feel, right? It's
Mhm.
another old saying that said the person who care less has the most control in the relationship too. You know, but you
I've
had
heard
just-
that.
You said you have heard that.
Oh yeah, I've definitely heard that.
When you were saying earlier, become the person that she would want to be with, right? I get what you're saying, but some people will say, hey, I tried to raise you to be that guy that people are, the right woman is attracted to. So if you would clarify that, you don't not become who you are just to please her. You don't lose
Nah.
yourself to please a woman.
I thought he was talking about that period in between leaving your mama's house and qualifying yourself as a young adult male to be ready for marriage.
Yeah.
Not, I married her, now I'm going to be what she want me to be.
Yeah, because I
Am I
think some
right?
people
That's the
misconstrue
simp we talking about.
Yeah.
That's the simp. You don't know what a simp is? That's what the simp
That's the
is.
simp is.
dress you up and tell you what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the simp, chill.
Just clarifying that. I look at it like this, and this we talk about. I don't know if we really talked about hypergamy on the show, right? And as a man, you can only do really 3 things, right? To attract a lady. It's your making money, right? Your social status
And your looks.
and your looks. How you dress, how you carry yourself. Those it. And-
It ain't
and-
for.
What's the fourth?
I think making people laugh, he getting people some.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
that-
For sure.
that's kind of tied to social
Oh,
status.
Yeah,
that's
social
social status.
status.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah, that's social
social status
status.
makes
Good
them
joke,
smile.
good
Yeah.
joke.
Good joke. Go a long way, don't it?
Exactly. Exactly.
that's-
And that's all you can do. You just
Yeah.
improve yourself, better yourself, be the best person you can be.
But that's why we make it. I mean, we make it complicated, right? And it's really not that complicated because all you got to do is watch reels on animals and see how they function. It's very practical.
Hey,
This species has a need. This species has a need based on its nature. They co-op and get together and interact based on those needs and build structures and systems around it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's the same for us.
And really, when you focus and take care of yourself, those things are a byproduct of it.
Yeah.
Because when you focus on that, you know, sometimes you might lose yourself and focusing on boom.
Let me ask y'all this, and we can talk about it now. This usually would be a question that John would propose, but I'll take his spot right here. Does it seem like to you guys that our sons are just not as interested in the relationships as we were when we were their age?
When you say relationships, what are you referring to?
The women, they could take it or leave it.
Oh,
You know, they not
I would agree with that.
they not gung ho. They not on it. They not chasing. They could take it or leave it. If it happen, it happen. If it don't, it don't. Does it seem that way to y'all?
Yes, sir. I'd agree with that.
Okay, so it seemed that way. Definitely seemed that way with. It seems that way with one of mine. The other one, not so much.
But I think, yeah, I'm gonna say yes for it, and I think it's a lot of different reasons though. And I think one of them is I give them credit for not wanting to be in a relationship for relationship's sake. To just say I'm in a relationship,
Right.
even though they can be.
Mm-hmm.
So they ain't gotta be with somebody, and I like that. Because there's some people that just gotta be with somebody.
Yeah, can't
Right.
They can break up the day and
Yeah.
be with somebody next week.
Don't
That's my
talk
new
about me.
girlfriend. That's my new boyfriend.
Don't talk about me.
All right. Then the other part is, man, they talk a lot about how this game is out here, man.
I know.
And how treacherous it is.
I know.
Like one of my sons, I don't know if I told you the other day, man, he took a girl out and she was like, well, I don't even really know. Nice young lady, fine, all that. I don't really know if you that interested in me. Like, you haven't even hit me like a cash out for lunch yet or nothing. Like the expectation that
Yeah.
these are the things you have to do if you want me.
Mm.
Like, we date, you send me cash out for lunch. We ain't even really been out that much, but these are the things you start doing. So I think they're turned off. That's why I keep joking with them, saying y'all gonna have to leave the country. We keep having these conversations. I was like, I don't know what y'all gonna do, man. I said, you better off for real. Y'all might be better off just finding the most strict church on the planet and just get one and hope you can bring them up to some type of normal level of consciousness about regular life. You know what I'm saying? Because when they talk about how scandalous it is,
I know.
I can see why they would absolutely be afraid to be in a relationship as opposed to I'm just gonna hang out and have friends. I mean, you know what
Man,
I'm
one
friends, right?
of the young fellas, son, was saying, he was talking about, talking to a young lady and was talking about going out to dinner. And he was like, well, we'll probably find somewhere, $150, $200 to go. $150, $200. You need to spend at least $400, $500
That's what they were saying.
on me for dinner.
They expected $300 to $500.
Yeah,
This.
these
Yeah,
women now.
yeah.
And so my son was
Yeah.
like, what? I ain't spending I ain't worth $500. He like, I'm not saying you're not worth $500, but we just met. And so I was telling my son, I said, listen, and he got a girlfriend now, but before I'm like, listen, man, first dates need to be coffee, then lunch, then a dinner, then, you know what I mean? Escalate. Like, we
Some
not,
old TV.
I'm not just coming out with
Man,
$500.
Your goal is to go have a conversation without all of that stuff stripped away.
Right.
Take
And
out
coffee
what
does
you
that.
got on and I got on my fly gear. Let me talk to you. Because that's the problem. Because we do all of that stuff first and then talk later and then realize we don't even like each
Right.
other.
And then you'd
And-
have
and when you
wasted
say
your
talk,
time.
you
You'd
talking
have
about
wasted
real
your,
talk. Yeah.
you'd have wasted time. You'd have wasted money.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many of these different relationships are you gonna experience at a $500 whop?
Right.
Hey,
and I ain't saying
you
you
tripping.
ain't worth
Hey,
it. but
Matter
we
of
gonna
fact,
have to
I don't
find
even
out.
want you. Get out of
Right.
here.
I might get in trouble for saying this, man.
We'll get in
Man,
trouble.
forget it, man. Listen, I'm a black male, and black men, I'm going to say this first. And black men have been the worst example of men taking care of our women and family since we've been in America. We wrong. We in terrible shape. We know the oppressor did it, but we ain't got no excuse no more. That being said, all of these women out here that's sleeping with men for a bag and for a purse and to pay your electric bill and your daughter's watching them,
Yeah.
and they watching you get a bag and get things, and I ain't gonna be with this dude unless I get something out of it. Well, that's what they doing with these young boys out here that we need to be husband and men. And so that's what the culture is right now. So it's pushed down from the grown-up because these babies didn't get it from themselves.
Right.
They watching somebody.
Right.
Big facts.
And they watching the women our age and older use their bodies because they're lonely and get things. And I get it. And I'm not blaming them, but that's the sickness that we got going on that's being translated down into our younger girls, where we have a culture where they think if I can get a bag out of him or if he spends money on me, he cares about me. You know what I'm saying? And it's telling the boys, if I spend money on her and she receives it, that means I care about her. And then we wonder why divorce is 75 or 60%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my rant. I'm sorry.
And in the words of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men.
We out of here.
Peace.
And I won't stop until I'm winning. I'ma show 'em how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I'm finished with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute. And I won't stop until I'm winning. They don't want me in the office 'cause